You spend 1/3 of your life unconscious. 8 hours every night, your body goes still, your eyes close, and for all practical purposes, you disappear from the physical world. But here's the question almost nobody asks. Where do you go? Not your body. Your body stays in bed. But your consciousness, your awareness, your soul, where does it travel while you're asleep? Most people assume sleep is just biological downtime. Your brain processes memories. Your muscles repair. You wake up refreshed. End of story. Paramahansa Yogananda would call that explanation tragically incomplete. In his private teachings to advanced students, he revealed something that sounds like science fiction, but is actually ancient spiritual science. Every single night, your soul leaves your physical body and travels to other dimensions of reality. You visit the astral plane. You meet with departed loved ones. You receive guidance from higher beings. You review your karmic patterns. You even glimpse future events before they happen in physical reality. And when you wake up in the morning, you remember almost none of it. Why? Because the conscious mind and the soul speak different languages. What the soul experiences in astral realms gets lost in translation when squeezed back into the limitations of physical brain chemistry. But what if you could remember? What if you could consciously navigate these nightly journeys instead of stumbling through them half aware? What if sleep could become your daily portal to higher dimensions? That's exactly what Yogananda taught is possible. And tonight, I'm going to show you the technique he gave to students who wanted to transform sleep from unconscious escape into conscious spiritual adventure. You'll learn where your soul actually goes each night, why dreams are not what you think they are, and the specific pre-sleep practice that allows you to remain aware during astral travel. But I need to warn you about something serious. Once you start remembering your astral experiences, once you begin meeting entities and visiting realms beyond physical reality, you cannot unsee what you've seen. Your entire relationship with death, with consciousness, with what's real will fundamentally change. Some people desperately want that awakening. Others would prefer to stay comfortably asleep. You need to decide which one you are before we go any further. Because what I'm about to share isn't just interesting spiritual philosophy. It's a manual for navigating realities your physical eyes will never see. Here's something strange that everyone experiences, but almost nobody questions. You go to sleep. Hours pass. You have vivid, detailed experiences, entire lifetimes compressed into a single night. Then you wake up, and within seconds, it's all gone, vanished, like trying to hold water in your hands. You might catch fragments, weird images, confusing scenarios, but the deeper experiences, the profound encounters, the moments of absolute clarity you had just minutes before waking, they've evaporated completely. Why? Yogananda's explanation challenges everything mainstream science tells us about consciousness and memory. He taught that you actually have 3 bodies, not one. The physical body made of flesh and blood, the astral body made of energy and light, and the causal body made of pure consciousness. These aren't metaphors. They're actual structures that exist at different vibrational frequencies. When you sleep, your consciousness withdraws from the physical body into the astral body. This is why your physical body can lie completely still for 8 hours, barely moving, while you experience intense activity in the astral realm. But here's where it gets complicated. The astral body operates at a much higher frequency than the physical brain. It perceives multiple dimensions simultaneously. It understands concepts that have no words in human language. It experiences time non-linearly, past and future, existing as now. When you wake up, your consciousness must compress all of that multidimensional experience back into the limitations of a three-dimensional brain that thinks in words and processes reality in sequential time. Imagine trying to describe a symphony to someone who's never heard sound. That's what your soul faces every morning, trying to communicate astral experiences to your waking mind. Most of it simply won't fit. So the brain does what it always does with information it can't process. It discards it, labels it as just a dream, and moves on. But Yogananda insisted this forgetting isn't inevitable. It's a skill issue. Your soul already knows how to navigate astral realms. You've been doing it every night for your entire life. But your waking consciousness hasn't been trained to receive and retain that information. This is why spiritual masters often need very little sleep. They're not superhuman. They've simply learned to remain conscious during the sleep state, which means they're gaining 8 hours of spiritual practice and learning every night, while ordinary people are just unconscious. Think about that. If you live to be 80 years old, you'll spend roughly 27 years asleep. For most people, that's 27 years of lost opportunity. But for someone who learns astral travel, that's 27 years of advanced spiritual education happening every single night. The question isn't whether your soul travels during sleep. It does. The question is whether you'll learn to remember and eventually direct those journeys consciously. So, where exactly does your soul travel when your physical body is asleep? Yogananda mapped out several distinct realms, and understanding this geography is essential because not all astral experiences are created equal. Some are profoundly spiritual. Others are just your subconscious mind processing daily stress. Knowing the difference changes everything. The lower astral. The dream factory. Most people never leave this realm. It's the closest to physical reality, which makes it the easiest for untrained consciousness to access. This is where your subconscious mind creates what we commonly call dreams. They're not journeys to other realms. They're mental constructions, your psyche processing emotions, memories, fears, and desires through symbolic scenarios. You dream about being chased because you're avoiding something in waking life. You dream about flying because you crave freedom. You dream about showing up naked to work because you feel vulnerable and exposed. These dreams feel random, but they're actually incredibly organized. Your subconscious is trying to communicate problems and solutions to your conscious mind using the only language it has, symbols and metaphors. Yogananda taught that these lower astral dreams are valuable for psychological integration, but they're not true astral travel. You haven't left your immediate energetic field. You're still essentially in your own head. The middle astral. The meeting place. This is where things get interesting and where most genuine astral experiences occur. In the middle astral, you can actually encounter other souls, departed loved ones who want to communicate with you, spirit guides assigned to help your evolution, sometimes even living people whose astral bodies are traveling while their physical bodies sleep elsewhere on Earth. Yogananda described the middle astral as the waiting room between incarnations. Souls who have died but haven't yet reincarnated reside here. They can see you. They can reach out to you. And if you're receptive, they can visit you during sleep. This explains why people often dream of deceased relatives giving them messages or warnings. Those aren't symbolic dreams. Those are actual encounters happening in the astral dimension while your body sleeps. I know this sounds impossible to materialist thinking, but Yogananda would ask, Why do so many people across all cultures and time periods report identical experiences? Why do complete strangers describe the same astral geography, the same types of beings, the same rules of engagement? Either it's the most elaborate mass hallucination in human history, or there's actually something there. The higher astral, the school of souls. Beyond the middle astral lies what Yogananda called the heavenly realms, regions of extraordinary beauty and spiritual power. Advanced souls, those who have completed their karmic cycles and achieved liberation, often serve as teachers in these realms. While your physical body sleeps, your soul might attend classes on cosmic law, on the nature of consciousness, on the mathematics of karma. You wake up with no memory of the lesson, but something has changed. You suddenly understand a concept that baffled you before. You feel drawn to make a decision you'd been avoiding. You have clarity about a relationship or situation that was confusing yesterday. This isn't random insight. This is download from your astral education, filtering through into waking consciousness. Yogananda himself taught that many of his most profound spiritual realizations came not during waking meditation, but during conscious sleep states, where his guru, Sri Yukteswar, would appear and give advanced teachings. The causal plane, pure consciousness. Very few souls reach this realm during sleep. It requires years of meditation practice and extraordinary spiritual development. The causal plane is beyond form, beyond individuality, beyond time and space. It's the realm of pure being, where your soul merges briefly with universal consciousness and experiences itself as one with all that exists. People who reach this state during sleep often describe it as formless bliss, or the void that contains everything. They wake up transformed, unable to explain what happened, but knowing with absolute certainty that the separation between self and universe is an illusion. Yogananda taught that this is actually the natural state of deep, dreamless sleep for spiritually advanced beings. While ordinary people slip into unconsciousness during deep sleep, masters slip into superconsciousness, resting in direct communion with God. The dark astral, the warning zone. There's one more realm I need to mention, though it's rarely discussed in popular spiritual teaching: the lower dark astral, inhabited by entities that feed on fear, confusion, and negative emotion. These aren't demons in the religious sense. They're thought forms, accumulated human negativity that has taken on semi-autonomous existence in subtle dimensions. When you go to sleep in a state of intense fear, anger, or despair, you're far more likely to encounter these energies. This is the source of nightmares that feel different from normal bad dreams, darker, more oppressive, harder to wake from. Yogananda was very clear. These entities have no power over you if you maintain spiritual awareness. They can only affect you if you engage with them in fear. The moment you recognize them as illusions and invoke divine light, they dissolve. But you need to know they exist so you're not caught off guard. Astral travel isn't all angels and enlightenment. There are challenging realms, too. I can already hear the skeptics. This all sounds like wishful thinking. How do we know any of this is actually real and not just elaborate fantasy? Fair question. And Yogananda anticipated it. He offered several ways to verify astral experiences for yourself. Find someone you trust, preferably someone also interested in astral travel. Before going to sleep, both of you set the intention to meet at a specific astral location. Choose somewhere neither of you has been physically, maybe a landmark in a foreign country. Go to sleep. In the morning, write down everything you remember before discussing it with each other if you both describe the same location, the same events, the same conversation, with details neither of you could have known about the physical place. That's verification. Yogananda encouraged students to do exactly this, and many reported back with identical experiences, sometimes down to specific phrases spoken during the astral encounter. Coincidence? Once or twice, maybe. But when it happens repeatedly with different partners, the probability of random chance drops to near zero. Before sleep, ask a specific question about something you genuinely don't know. Not, will I be successful? But something factual. What caused my grandmother's illness? Where did my neighbor travel last month? What's the solution to this technical problem I'm stuck on? If you wake up with accurate information you had no normal way of accessing, information that can be verified, you've just proven that consciousness can gather knowledge beyond the physical senses. Yogananda himself used this technique. He would go to sleep with unsolved problems and wake with solutions that later proved accurate. Pay attention to dreams that have a different quality, more vivid, more coherent, charged with unusual clarity or emotion. Write them down in detail. Then watch for those scenarios to play out in physical reality within the next few weeks or months. Not symbolically, literally. Yogananda taught that the astral plane exists slightly ahead of physical time. Events crystallize there before manifesting in matter. So genuine astral perception often includes glimpses of probable futures. When you dream about a specific person you haven't thought about in years, and they contact you the next day, that's not coincidence. Your astral body picked up the energetic precursor to that physical event. This is the most emotionally powerful test. If a deceased relative or friend appears in your dream and tells you something you didn't know, something that can be verified by others, you've just had a genuine astral encounter. People report this constantly. Grandma appears and says, "Look in the blue box in the attic." They wake up, check, and find important documents or objects they had no idea existed. Skeptics dismiss these as lucky guesses or false memories. But when it happens to you, when the information is too specific and too accurate to be explained away, you'll know. The technique: conscious astral travel. Now for what you actually came here to learn. How do you remain conscious during sleep? How do you remember your astral journeys? How do you eventually learn to direct where you go and what you do? Yogananda taught a specific multi-stage practice. It's not something you master in one night. Expect weeks or months of practice before significant results. But when it clicks, it changes your entire experience of reality. Your astral experiences are heavily influenced by your state of consciousness when you fall asleep. Fall asleep stressed, angry, or fearful, and you'll drift into lower astral realms or chaotic subconscious dreams. Fall asleep in peace, clarity, and spiritual aspiration, and you'll naturally gravitate toward higher astral realms. So the first practice is purification. 20 minutes before you intend to sleep, do the following. Sit comfortably. Close your eyes. Take 7 deep breaths, exhaling longer than you inhale. With each exhale, release the day. Let go of conversations, conflicts, worries, plans. Clear your mental field completely. Then, place your attention at the point between your eyebrows, the spiritual eye. Mentally repeat, I am not the body. I am not the mind. I am the soul. Tonight, I journey consciously. Feel this truth. You're not just saying words. You're shifting your identity from the physical body that will sleep to the immortal soul that never sleeps. While still sitting, bring your awareness to your entire body simultaneously. Feel it as energy, not flesh. Tingling, vibrating, pulsating with life force. Now, starting at your feet, mentally command each body part to relax completely. Feet, release all tension. Legs, become completely soft. Move up through your entire body, pelvis, abdomen, chest, arms, shoulders, neck, face, scalp. By the time you reach the top of your head, your physical body should feel almost dissolved, like you're floating in space rather than sitting in a room. This is the astral body beginning to separate from the physical. You're training your consciousness to loosen its grip on matter. Before you lie down to sleep, speak this invocation aloud or silently with full conviction. Divine Mother, I place myself under your protection as I travel tonight through astral realms. Surround me with light. Allow me to remember my journeys. Guide me to experiences that serve my highest evolution. And when I encounter fear or confusion, remind me of my true nature as your eternal child. This isn't superstition. This is energetic programming. You're setting your intention and invoking higher guidance. The astral plane responds to clear intention far more readily than the physical world does. Lie down in your sleeping position. Most people sleep on their side, but for astral travel practice, lying on your back is ideal. It keeps your spine straight and your energy channels open. Place your hands on your chest or abdomen. Close your eyes. Now comes the crucial part. As you feel yourself drifting toward sleep, there's a moment, a threshold, where you're not quite awake, but not quite asleep. Yogananda called this the hypnagogic gap. Most people slip through this gap unconsciously and don't remember anything until morning. But if you can stay aware during this transition, you'll feel the astral body beginning to separate from the physical. It might feel like falling, or spinning, or vibrating intensely, or sudden loud sounds inside your head. These are signs of the astral body detaching. Don't panic. Don't resist. Stay calm and curious. As this happens, mentally repeat, I am aware, I am conscious, I am traveling. If you can maintain this awareness through the transition, you'll suddenly find yourself fully conscious in your astral body, either floating above your physical body or already in an astral location. If you successfully stay aware through the sleep transition, congratulations. You've just achieved conscious astral projection. Now what? First rule: don't get excited. Excitement pulls you back into your physical body, and you'll wake up instantly. Stay calm. Stay curious. Observe without attachment. Look at your hands in the astral form. They might look slightly translucent or glowing. This confirms you're in the astral body. Now, test movement. Think about floating upward. In the astral, thought equals movement. You don't walk. You fly by intention. Yogananda taught beginners to start with familiar locations. Think about visiting a room in your house you're not currently in. Your consciousness will instantly shift there. As you gain skill, you can set destinations further away. A friend's house, a place you've always wanted to visit. Eventually, higher astral realms entirely. But here's critical guidance. Always, always remember, you can return to your body instantly by simply intending it. If you feel scared or overwhelmed, just think, I return to my body now, and you'll snap back immediately. This is the most commonly skipped step, which is why most people forget their astral experiences. The moment you wake up, before you move, before you open your eyes, lie completely still. Reach for the memories They're there, but they're fragile. Don't try to remember in words. Feel for the experiences, images, emotions, sensations. Let them bubble up without forcing. Once you've captured some fragments, then open your eyes and immediately write everything down. Don't wait. Don't think you'll remember later. You won't. Keep a dedicated journal next to your bed for this purpose. Date every entry. Over time, you'll notice patterns, recurring symbols, and a gradual increase in clarity and recall. Once you're consistently remembering some astral experiences, you can begin directing them. Before sleep, set a specific intention. Tonight, I will visit my departed grandmother. Tonight, I will seek guidance on this decision I'm facing. Tonight, I will explore the higher astral temples. The astral plane responds to clear, emotionally charged intention. If you genuinely want to meet someone or visit somewhere, and you maintain that desire as you fall asleep, your astral body will naturally gravitate there. Yogananda emphasized that this isn't about controlling reality or bypassing spiritual development. It's about using the 8 hours you already spend asleep as a laboratory for consciousness expansion. I need to be straight with you about potential challenges and dangers, not to scare you, but to prepare you. As your astral body separates from your physical body, there's often a moment where you're awake mentally, but your physical body is still in sleep paralysis. You can't move. You might see or sense presences in the room. This terrifies people who don't understand what's happening. They think they're being attacked by demons or having a medical emergency. The truth is far simpler. Your brain has woken up before your body's motor functions have come back online. This is completely normal and harmless. It usually passes within seconds or minutes. If it happens, don't panic. Focus on wiggling your toes or fingers. Movement will return quickly. Or, if you're feeling adventurous, use the paralyzed state to launch into conscious astral travel by simply allowing your awareness to float out of the frozen body. You will eventually encounter beings in the astral plane. Some are helpful, some are neutral, some are actively deceptive. Not every entity claiming to be your spirit guide actually has your best interests in mind. Not every message you receive is divine wisdom. The astral plane has its share of tricksters, confused souls, and negative energies. Yogananda's protection method. Whenever you encounter any entity, mentally or verbally invoke divine light. I call upon the Christ consciousness, or I invoke the Divine Mother, or whatever spiritual authority you resonate with. Beings aligned with truth and love will remain and even grow brighter. Deceptive entities will flee or dissolve. It's a reliable test. Some people become so fascinated with astral experiences that they neglect physical life. They sleep more, seeking escape into more interesting dimensions. They withdraw from relationships and responsibilities. This is spiritual bypassing, using astral travel as an avoidance mechanism rather than a growth tool. Yogananda was emphatic. Your primary duty is to your physical incarnation. Astral exploration is supplementary, not primary. If it's making you less functional in daily life, rather than more conscious and effective, you're doing it wrong. Sometimes your mind will create elaborate false memories of astral experiences that never actually happened. Your subconscious, excited by the possibility of astral travel, manufactures convincing fantasies. How do you tell the difference between genuine astral memory and imagination? Genuine astral experiences have a different quality. They feel more real than waking life, not less. They have a clarity and coherence that dreams lack, and they often include verifiable information